Hello everyone, my name's Corey and today I plan to make a jacket. This jacket is inspired by one I saw BTS's J-Hope wearing. It looks like this. And my jacket doesn't really end up looking like his a lot. It's a similar silhouette, but I use different fabric and different colors to it, so it doesn't end up looking a lot like the original photo. But it ends up looking pretty cool, so let's get into it.
Starting off, I was making my pattern, and while I was making this pattern, I forgot I didn't have the cap on my Sharpie, and ended up drawing on my shirt. And then after that, I poked myself in the middle of the forehead. I look so stupid. There's my reaction to it. And then after that, I continue working on the pattern. This is the front panel of the pattern, and then the front panel has a hem that's more like blobby, kind of curvy in style instead of the normal straight hem a jacket would have. And then after that, I make a matching pocket that has the same blobby shape to go on the front of the jacket. And then I make the second pocket after that. It's same blobby style, just a slightly different shape to have matching pockets on either side of the jacket. And then here I am rolling out the paper to trace the front pattern onto the back pattern so they line up. The back pattern has the same blobby hem as the front pattern. I just had to make them line up like that, and there's nothing super special with it. And then here I'm putting the pattern on the mannequin, so then you can see how the pattern lays on the mannequin. I have the lapel showing. I folded that over so you're able to see the kind of curvy form of it when it's folded over. That matches the bottom of the hem. I'm doing slight alterations to it to help it line up better, and then I'm pinning it to the mannequin, kind of observing how it lays and what I think I should change to it. And then I have the sleeve on, and that's how it kind of ends up looking. I end up cutting the fabric out longer than the pattern, so the jacket's more mid-thigh length instead of where it was sitting around hip length. And this is me cutting out the patterns. This is the front half of the pattern. This is the maroon camo pattern I chose for the fabric, and you can see me, of course, cutting it longer than the pattern. This is the back piece. Sewing's very repetitive, so it's just me pinning the sewing patterns to the fabric and then cutting them out over and over again. That's why it's all zoomed up. It's pretty boring. There's the pocket I cut out, and then after this I do the sleeve, and then the sleeve I put on a fold because that's the way my pattern was made. It's only half the sleeve. And then after I cut out the sleeve, I end up changing to the collar. This is only half the collar because the jacket I'm making is split colors. Here's the white for the rest of the jacket. I'm lining up the other patterns I cut out of the camo fabric and lining it up to the white fabric, so then both pieces are the same exact size instead of estimating the size based on the pattern pieces, because I don't end up adding a seam length for the pattern pieces, so I kind of estimate it when I'm cutting it out, and that's why I'm lining up the pieces together to cut them out together instead of with just the pattern as the reference. And this is pretty self-explanatory because it's the same thing over and over again, of course. Cutting out fabric, it's boring. That's why everything's sped up again. There's the sleeve. This time I didn't put it on the fold of the fabric because I have the piece already cut out, so I just traced that, of course. And one of the patterns is the camo. One of the patterns for the pocket is the camo fabric, the other's the white fabric. And then here's the lining for my jacket. I chose a pink lining to match the pink splotches in the camo, because they did not have a maroon lining that I wanted to use, and of course the white side of the fabric gets the white lining, and I wanted a colored lining for the camo side to like differentiate the sides so it continues with that split color instead of the whole inside being white and not matching the style I was going for. And once again, more cutting out fabric, very boring. It's just the same thing over and over. Wow, lay fabric on, pin it, line it up, cut it out. Very boring. In future videos, I'm gonna cut a lot of this instead of leaving it in and voicing over it. This is my first video, really, so I don't know a lot about it. And then this one, I put the lining over the fabric because I needed to cut out a piece for the lapel, because when the lapel folds over, I don't want you to see the lining. So I cut out part of that lining and replaced it with the felt of the fabric I used when I was sewing it. Okay, and now on to the sewing. This is me sewing the different linings together, and you can see that one felt piece attached to the lining that will be the lapel when it's folded over. Sewing with the sewing machine is also pretty repetitive. You pin the different pieces together and you sew them together good side to good side. This is the front and back that I'm sewing together of the camo side, and then you really just sew good side to good side. There's the lining for the sleeve that I'm sewing, good side to good side, of course. And then that's the outside of the sleeve with the camo fabric. It's very self-explanatory. And then I move on to the white fabric. This is me sewing the sleeve, of course. Once again, good side to good side. Once you get a hang of the basics down for sewing, it's not super hard. It's probably kind of hard to tell what's going on with stuff in the video, but that's fine. This is me sewing the collar together. I had to do 2 layers because the collar folds over, so when it's the inside, you don't want to see the lining. This is me sewing the white lining together with the felt on the lapel. It's not felt, it's fleece. I said felt previously, but it's fleece. I am not scripted this. This is just me rambling. Sewing the 2 front and back panels for the fleece of the white side of the jacket right here. Once again, I'm not gonna say it again. You get it. And then there's the lining of the sleeve. And then this is me sewing the white side of the jacket with the camo side of the jacket right down the center back seam. It's not that hard. If you know how to follow a pattern, it'll be easy. And I am not showing you full pictures of the pattern because I'm too lazy to draw one out, so guesstimate like I do when I make my own patterns. And then here's me sewing the 2 different sides of the linings together, the pink and the white together. Same back seam, same process as the exterior part of the jacket. And then that's the shoulder part. And then, I moved. I did not know I moved. Do I know what I'm sewing right here? No. Oh, wait. It's the sleeve to the rest of the jacket. I'm sewing the sleeve to the rest of the jacket right there. And then this is the white sleeve to the white side of the jacket. Okay, I got it. Even I don't know how I edited this. Like, I procrastinated so much on this. I forgot what I did, so that's great. And then here's more lining. This is sewing the sleeves of the lining to the rest of the lining, which is once again the same thing as the exterior part of the jacket. it just goes inside the jacket to line it so no seams are showing. Kind of makes it look more professional and fancy, I guess. And make sure to iron your seams. I don't show that because that's very boring. Oh, and then here's me sewing the collar onto the lining, and then I'll sew the collar onto the rest of the jacket. And actually, I don't end up finishing like the machine sewing on camera. It's self-explanatory. Put good side to good side of the lining and the outside piece of the jacket together, sew all the way around it, and then leave the armholes open so you can turn it inside out, and then hem the sleeves. And then here's me hand sewing the pockets on. That's because I didn't want a seam to be showing on the pockets, and I kind of wanted it to be seamless. And I do that by doing a ladder stitch by hand. These pockets probably won't be holding a lot, so they don't need to be exceptionally strong, so hand stitching will be able to hold them on and give the feel I want on it. And this hand stitching took forever. It sucked. I had to speed it up a ton, and I only show one pocket of me sewing. I don't even show the other pocket. I once had a hand sew a whole jacket. It sucked. I'm never doing that again. And that's why I'm glad it was only the pocket I was hand sewing on, and not hand sewing the whole jacket. That sucks. Don't do that. Anyways, that's all the sewing, and on to the end. Well, the reveal, which is technically the ending. So, goodbye!
Finish the jacket. It's very warm out right now. Middle of summer. Wearing a fleece jacket. Not a smart idea, but oh well. I like it. I like the style, it's interesting. Just wish the lapels were bigger. Other than that, it's an interesting jacket. I really like this pattern. And then the contrast with my green shorts with the maroon fabric. We love complementary colors. That's it. That's the lining. Bye-bye.